Hello everyone, and welcome back to Engage UK channel. It's good to be back again. Thanks to everyone who's been watching all the videos. And today it's Newsdesk for July. Now originally I said I would like to try and do this every month, but I think that was probably a little bit too ambitious. Not only in terms of doing the video every month, but also having enough to talk about. So I think probably every 2 months is going to be closer to how often this feature will appear. So the first thing we're going to talk about is what has actually appeared in the last couple of months, and it's interesting to compare that to what was promised and what I spoke about in the first Newsdesk in May. And to my surprise, and possibly to many others, quite a lot of what was announced has turned up. We're going to start with Graham Farish, and we'll start with wagons. There's quite a lot have appeared. Mark the page here. Quite a lot have appeared in the last few weeks. First of all, just going through the current Graham Farish 2011-12 catalogue and just identifying the ones that have turned up. All 4 variants of the OBA wagons are now available. These are not a new announcement. They've been in the catalogue for a while, but so I assume those are re-releases, but all 4 of those have come out in the last 2 months. They came out in June. Next thing is the cattle wagons. These 2 new 8-ton cattle wagons, 373-260A and 261A, are both now out and available. Whoops, excuse me. Slight joggle on the camera there. Through some of the ventilated vans have appeared. Meat wagons are probably the next ones we're going to talk about. Yeah. So next would be the meat vans, and 373, 740, 741 and 742 have all been released in the last 2 months. So those are now available. They're blue ribboned, and obviously new announcements. Also just come out, are literally in the last week or two, are the SPA wagons, the steel coil carriers. There's the 3 variants available. There's the Rail Freight Red, the Metal Sector and the EWS, and all 3 are now at your local model shop, hopefully. If not, they're certainly online at some of the online retailers. Looking further through, a few of the TTAs have come out. 775, that one's appeared, and so has 777. Haven't seen 776 yet, but my information may be slightly out of date on that. The last one probably to talk about is the POAs. Both the Tiger Grey and the Arc are both out now. They've both been released, and again they were new announcements. So it's good to see that Farish are getting some of the new announcements out, but it does kind of beg the question, what's happened to some of the things they announced quite a while ago that we still haven't seen. We're going to move on now to Steam. Well, moving on to what came out in the Steam Loco range in June. 3 major ones, no, 4 actually. First of all, the Class 57XX, which was a new announcement, did come out, as did the 8750 pannier tank. This was not a new announcement, this one was. Third to come out was the 4F, 372054, which again was a new announcement, but obviously an old tooling. So a new release of an old tooling that's not DC ready or blue ribboned. And the last one to come out in June, is the very back of the Steam section, was the 4MT tank 372531 was released. In diesel electric, the Class 91, I can find here, 53, came out in Archbishop Cranmore, I believe it was called. That's the one here, GNER. This pack came out. That was the only electric or diesel loco in June. There are some in July, which I'll get to in a sec. Also in the coaches, a whole load of Pullmans came out in June. Just find them. There we go. Practically all these variants came out. They're all very nice. I've seen some pictures of them and a few reviews on the forums. Have a look at the Engage forum or any of the other forums. I heartily recommend the Engage forum because it specialises in Engage. Lots of very knowledgeable people there and helpful people. As well as the Pullmans, there were a few other Crimson and Cream coaches, first class corridors and restaurant cars came out. Some of which, as you see, are announced on here. So those were the June releases from Graham Parish. Let's look at July. Well, starting with coaches, since we're on those, the first thing that's come out, and that's very recently, literally in the last week, is these BSK Mark 1s, the new tooling of the Mark 1s, which you can see a review of in the channel. The second running number of these BSKs has come out in all the variants. So 374185A, for instance, for the Crimson and Cream, plus all the other variants have come out as well. They've all got A suffix numbers. I had, for instance, the original release of this 374 just 185 without the A. So this is a second version of the same one, but with a different running number. All those have come out. So Mark 1 restaurant car have come out in maroon. We've got some of the Staniers have been coming out in dribs and drabs over the last couple of months as well. In the last few days, the third vestibules in LMS Crimson, first corridor in LMS Crimson, and the vestibule composite in BR Maroon Stanier have all been released. In diesel locomotives, the class 46 here, 587, which is this one. It's a brand new release, blue ribboned. Unfortunately not DCC ready, so they're still using the old chassis. That one's come out. Yeah. And the class 87, which is here. So Winston Churchill has also come out. Again, not blue ribbon, not DCC ready, just a new livery of an old tooling. But that one has come out as well. Steam engines in the last few days. Just pop over to the steam section. We've had the Prairie Tank, this one, 371981A, class 61XX GWR Prairie Tank has been released. The 8F, like the 4F, the 8F has also come out. This is new. Again, though, an old tooling. It's not new tooling, so not blue ribbon, not DCC ready, but a re-release of the 8F in early crest has just come out, and at last, finally, the Jubilee, the second Jubilee with the early crest, right, with the name Rodney, has finally appeared. They've been saying it's coming for months and months and months, but literally in the last week that has started appearing at your favourite online retailers and probably in your local model shop, so check that one out. I have the Hong Kong, which is the earlier version of that. It's a great loco. Check out the review on the channel for that. Last one is just some trucks that have come out, and there's only a couple really. There's a couple of aggregate hopper PGA wagons. The Yeoman one is out and is the ECC Quarries version. Also a couple of HAA hopper freight wagons have come out. There's a brown one, which is 373900D, and also one in BR coal sector, 373902A. So that's what's come out from Farish in the last couple of months, and quite a lot of stuff. They've done pretty well there. I think we all have a little bit of a cynical view towards Farish when they announce things, and that's nobody's fault but their own, to be honest. We're still waiting for things like the Class 101 that was announced in 2009. So they've made a rod for their own back, but it seems they're working their hardest to try and dispel this reputation they have for announcing things and then them never appearing. Okay, we're next going to have a look at what Dapol have released. Here's the 2011 catalogue, and the major release that's started appearing, of course, in the last month or two is the HST sets. These are the book sets, the ones with coaches. We haven't seen any just power sets yet. The three variants that have so far been released are the Virgin and the Blue and Grey, which were the first two, and Intercity Executive appeared a couple of weeks ago. Now, it's not my intention to do a review of this here, except to say it's worth reading up on the forums, people's views, people's reviews on these. There have been some issues. One particular issue being the colour on the Intercity Executive on the lower body side does not match the coaches that Dapol have already released, which are apparently in this livery, which is a bit confusing. Neither do the roofs. The roofs are a different colour. Dapol are going to be releasing more Intercity Executive coaches, but you've got to feel for anyone who's building up a coaching rate to go with these, who now finds that they don't match. There have been some other issues with some having to be sent back for running hot, issues with glue around the windows. So I think this is possibly one of those ones you might be better off going into your model shop and getting it run, looking at 2 or 3 and picking one that is, is working, is all there. You're not going to have to send back. Buying by mail order on this, I think at the moment is going to be a bit of a lottery. So that's my recommendation on that. Go to your local model shop if you're thinking of getting one of these and really look at it, or be prepared to have to send it back, because it seems the percentage of models that are being sent back is quite high on these. Having said that, people who have managed to get ones that are running well, that don't have any problems, give it a 10 out of 10. It is a fantastic looking model. So let's hope Dapol can iron out any issues with those if there's going to be further batches. But they have started appearing. They've also released the Blue Circle Gunpowder Wagon in the last few weeks. So I can find that in here. Blue Circle, this one. There we go. So they got that correct. It says June here, but it actually came out in July, so not too bad.